Hi Kiwi! Alright, we're going to pick up where we left off, and we'll start by just examining this room. So, it looks like I'm primarily just falling down. It looks like these stars, the top stars, are a little bit behind the lower set, and then I need to fall down here, I guess dash to the left, dash to the right, fall through here. Similar situation, I need to dodge the... I don't know, this is... my brain does not process cycle-based platforming very well at all. So I think this is going to just be a feel-it-out sort of room, unfortunately for me. But I'll make it work somehow. Anyway, as far as discussion topic for today goes, my plan is to talk about, since the last episode was talking about goals for the future in terms of channel and channel quality, let's talk about channel content for the plan for channel content for the foreseeable future. Namely, what games am I going to play? So, right now, the most immediate future, the plan is once Celeste is complete, I'll likely switch into Ori and the Blind Forest. I will admit, I am not a 2D platformers kind of guy. My skill set seems much better suited towards 3D platformers. I feel like the only 2D platformer I've ever felt competent in, if you'll be so bold, or if you'll be as kind to offer me that boldness, is Hollow Knight, and that's because it just felt very reminiscent of Smash, which I have, at this point, decades of experience playing, so it's such familiar territory to me. There's nothing that could... There are a few games that replicate that feel of the platform fighter, if you will, quite like Hollow Knight did to Smash. So, anyway, Ori and the Blind Forest is definitely that one's a hard definite on what I'm going to do next. I'm very confident I'll be playing that soon enough. The next game as well is likely actually going to be Undertale. I forget the name of the commenter, but I'll shout them out when I start the actual playthrough. But someone commented on if I could play Undertale, and through sheer serendipity alone, Kiwi happened to be passing by and looked at the comment and was like, yes, that. Which I was surprised, because we both have had pretty fulfilling experiences with Undertale. Namely, I have watched a number of playthroughs of it, and I'm very familiar with all of its story routes, as well as its little secrets, and like all the little secret... there were so many videos of Undertale that came out in its heyday, where people were finding all the little secrets of, oh, if you did this specific interaction, Sans would say this on his telephone call, or something like that. And so I have seen a significant amount of Undertale in my time. But honestly, I feel like it would be fun to finally have my first proper real playthrough of it. Absolutely going pacifist route. I still have no interest in killing off the characters that I have come to know and love, and I think that's appropriate. What I may do is, I don't know this for sure, but I have a feeling that, I suspect that there is what's called I think it's a bad time simulator, where you can fight Sans without actually doing it in your save file. And I may try doing that on screen, because I've always wanted to do that fight. For context, I have beaten Jebel in Deltarune's first chapter. That one took a while, but I definitely beat it. Deltarune, as far as Deltarune goes, I've only played the first chapter. I know nothing else beyond that. And I figure maybe I'll play Deltarune on the channel after Undertale, but we'll see. Anyway, as far as... So those will likely be my two next games. Undertale will be a follow-up to A Space for the Unbound, and Ori and the Blind Forest will be a follow-up to Celeste. Oh, come on. Yeah! Woo! I changed one strategy and beat it on the second try after I changed that, just how I approached that room in the first fall. I did a super jump and... Do you ever look at a room and just know you're going to hate it? Because that was that last room. I am so awful at rhythm and... and cycle-based platforming, oh my goodness. And I won't be so bold as to expect that anything easier will come about this, but... boy howdy do I hope... Oh, darn. Boy howdy do I hope that I see, fewer of those, platforming rooms in the future. My goodness. Anyway, so what other games am I planning on playing on this channel? I think that's still a pretty pertinent topic point. We talked about Ori and the Blind Forest and Undertale was my more immediate goals, and then Deltarune probably as a follow-up to Undertale. But what else? So I guess the first question is, how well does A Space for the Unbound do in Kiwi's eyes? Does she enjoy the voice acting? Does she find it annoying? Does it wake her up? Or is she more invested in the characters and the story such that she'll want to watch it while she's awake? Because I'm not opposed to having these videos viewable while someone is awake too. It's just that, again, this was mostly done with Kiwi's sleep aid in mind. So if Kiwi likes the voice acting and she's enjoying what I do in the Space for the Unbound, then I was honestly considering doing the voice acting in Undertale as well, just to make the experience for us both a little different, just give a little extra personality to those characters. And I've been thinking pretty hard about what voices would I do for each of the characters. So, for example, Asgore, I was thinking about giving the Eric voice, but I'm not sold on that, so maybe... there are definitely characters that I think I know what voice I want to do, and others that I'm not convinced I know what I want to do with. For example, Undyne, I really don't know what I'm going to do with her voice, because I don't have a female voice to begin with, or I'm very bad at female voices. And Undyne's is kind of I would picture her the deeper, more gruff, and not necessarily gruff, but definitely deeper female voice, not the kind of softer, nasally voice that I do for Marin and Lulu and oh gosh, I've forgotten her name somehow. Rhea, and Rhea's voice in A Space for the Unbound. So, more to think on that, but it's an idea. I'll see what I want to do with it, whether I'll just play it vanilla, if you will, or if I'll do the voice acting for funsies. I kind of want to, though, because I've been I really have been enjoying testing my voice's limits and seeing where I can take it. It's been a really fun learning experience for me. It would be lovely if I could manage a single diagonal on these blocks. Oh my goodness. I digress. So, what comes after those two, though? What comes after those sets of games? So, Hades is super on my list, especially with Hades 2 on the horizon, and it's just having its technical test dropping. I don't know if that's open to everyone or if it's just a select few who apply for it, but I absolutely want to play Hades. And one game that I'm looking at that's Hades adjacent is something called Lotus Lantern Rescue Mother. It is a game that looks very reminiscent of Hades, maybe a little bit more 3D, but follows the Chinese folklore story about the Lotus Lantern. It was a movie, it was made into a movie that I've never seen, but I figured it would be a fun way to learn about mythology that I'm super unfamiliar with. Not going to lie, the order of events in this room took a long time to figure out, but I've got it now. There we go, and complete. Nice. That room was more difficult than I expected it to be. So as far as other games go that I'd want to play on this channel, back on that topic I suppose, other games I'd want to play are obviously Silksong whenever that comes out in the next decade, we hope. And honestly, just more Hollow Knight I might play a little bit, either as a first attempt at a speed run, or just going back to Godhome and completing the Pantheons with all of the bindings. Because I definitely think I can do Pantheon 1 with all bindings. And then also potentially getting the 2 endings that I didn't get, where I bring the White Flower to the God Seeker and then complete the Pantheon of Hollow Nest, and then the Mushroom ending. Oh wait, I'm dumb. I just have to hyper dash, and then dash again. Duh. Oops. Okay, that took more... I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out, but it sure did. So, hyper dash, diagonal please. Today is a bad day for diagonals, Kiwi. My goodness, I am failing on a fundamental level. And then I do this, grab that, dash into that, I presume. Of course, if I like Ori enough, I'll probably play the sequel for that. What was it? The Will of the Wisps. Right now, a game that's on my radar that I want to try out eventually is another Crab's Treasure. I don't have a lot of experience with Souls-like games, but another Crab's Treasure looks fairly appealing. It's really cute, and I think the idea of your shell being the kind of death mechanic I think that's pretty genius. Or maybe it's not the death mechanic, but I like the idea that your equipment is you replacing your shell. I think that's really clever. Of course, Kiwi has asked for more Binding of Isaac because that is her go-to. If this game is playing, she will fall asleep sort of game. But it hasn't been clicking with me. It's really hard for me to play without keyboard, and my setup just does not let me play by keyboard very easily right now. Granted, I did get a wireless keyboard as an extension, so maybe I could try it again and it would go alright, but I'm not really in the mood for it. But that said, she also said Hades would be a really good option, and, well, I already said, at the time of recording this dialogue, I've already done one episode of Hades. It's just not going to come out for a while because the other things are on the schedule for now. Woo! Okay, that room really wasn't that bad. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, more cycle-based platforming. Wait, fireballs? No, my arch nemesis. I didn't mind the frozen roses. Or they look like jellyfish to me, honestly, but... Oh, dearie me. This is where... This room is going to take me a while, isn't it? So, another set of games that I definitely want to play on this channel, Sonic Adventure 2. So, Sonic Adventure 2 was my first entrance into the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, and I love momentum-based platformers. Again, I may not care for 2D platformers that much, but 3D platformers are just my jam. I don't know why, they just mesh better with my brain, I guess. And on a similar vein, Spark the Electric Jester 2 and 3. Spark 1 is a 2D Sonic sort of game, but Spark 2 and 3 are very similar to 3D Sonic in the modern generation, where there are boost mechanics, but I love watching these games be speedrun. As far as Sonic Adventure 2 goes, it's either going to be vanilla, or what I might honestly do is I've found a way that makes it run at like 2 to 3 times its normal speed. And as someone who used to speedrun Sonic Adventure 2 for individual level categories, that sounds hilarious. So I'm honestly considering just having a gag series where I do that a couple times and see how it pans out. I am definitely planning on playing some Stardew Valley on this channel. I have kind of a more edited plan for that, and I have no idea when that's coming out, but that was an idea that I'm working on. And on a similar vein, Sunhaven is another game that I quite like, that Kiwi and I have spent a lot of time playing together. So I'd be very happy to bring that onto the channel at some point. And if you've never heard of Sunhaven, I highly recommend it if you like Stardew Valley. If you like Stardew Valley and you're just looking for something similar but different enough, it's definitely worth checking out. Another game that's caught my eye that I definitely want to play is something called Wavetail. This is a game that Kiwi and I first found on a GDQ speedrun, and I have fallen asleep to the speedrun so many times. I barely know anything about the game, but I can tell just at a glance, it looks like my cup of tea. If you like the water traversal aesthetic that The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker had, it has a very stylistic feel that's similar to it, I would say. And I'm very interested in playing it out. It seems like a pretty solid game too, from what I can tell from the parts of the speedrun that I've been awake for, which I think is no more than at most 20 minutes. Kind of like I was saying with Hollow Knight, I've also been thinking about maybe going and playing the post-game of Cassette Beast, or attempting a speedrun of that as well. There's a small part of me that on this channel wants to take every game that I play and try to speedrun it at least once, just to see what it's like. Speedrunning, like, I've never been a hardcore speedrunner. Duranko Wonko was probably the only legit I'm going to try and, if not be competitive, at least really put my all into a speedrun. And I was very satisfied with my PB, even though it was completely subpar and already outclassed by time I even had accomplished it. But it was so satisfying and so fun to just route out an entire run on my own without any outside influence. Just, this is what I thought would be fastest. And then I found a different route that was even faster, and I switched to it, and then I just refined it until it was the fastest I could get it to be, without driving myself insane. Like, I know my PB with the route I came up with is not the perfect run, but I was satisfied with what I got. Okay, I've fallen to the bottom, but I got all the sigils. As long as I can make my way back up, I have this. Come on. think I've got it. Yeah, okay. And now I just have to get over here. And honestly, that room wasn't nearly as bad as I expected it to be. I think because in the core, well, one, I got a ton of practice platforming off of those ice jellyfish, ice roses, whatever you want to call them, the frozen fireballs. I got a lot of practice platforming off of them, so I got a good sense of how they work, but also the other thing I have in my wheelhouse, or to my advantage here, is I have a dash that regenerates every time I land on them, instead of in the core where I bounced off of them and was dashless. And I think I said it when I was doing the seaside of the core. It is noticeable how dependent I have become on my dash as a backup strategy for when things are going wrong. But alright, I think this is just a series of wave dashes in a row. And as long as I can get those wave dashes in a row. I do not seem to have the diagonals in me soul today. In me soul today, no diagonals be. And there we go. Ooh, that one was tricky. Now let's see what we have here. Alright, spring. Oh my goodness. Oh, this looks gross. Okay, so let's think about what I have to do here. I have to, obviously, as with everything else, hyper dash and then probably dash either upwards or diagonal to the left. That'll send me over there. I'm going to hope that it gives me enough height that I can get to that spring and hopefully dash into it. And then I doubt I have enough room to clear that, so maybe I have to try and go under it and then dash upwards. And then that'll shoot me up, so I can definitely diagonal there, and then I have to have that carry me all the way to that, and then I have to just jump off the apex of each of those. I imagine they're going to fall. Oh, hello. The wind is just pushing me right away. Alright. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so I definitely need to go under on that one, I think. Ugh, timing on this is going to be rough. With the wind just pushing me like this? Well, wish me luck. Factorio is another game. I have one episode that I put out really early in this channel's history where I was attempting to learn the speedrun, and I was recording myself live, and now that I understand a bit better how to trim out unnecessary footage, that might be a concept I go back to down the road, just me actively learning the speedrun, and then all the bits where I'm watching Nilaus explain the actual run, I just edit that out and kind of reiterate it in my own experience and trying to figure it out in real time. I know I've mostly been sticking to indie games, but there are some AAA games that I'm quite interested in. Of course, so Final Fantasy VII Remake is definitely one of those. I have never, well, okay, I shouldn't say I've never played Final Fantasy VII. I played some of Final Fantasy VII. I think I got through the very first section of the game where you get out of Midgar. I think it's Midgar. You get out of the starting city that the game starts in, and when Final Fantasy VII becomes more open world. And that's about where I stopped playing because it was in the middle of undergrad and exams were kicking up. And that's kind of my excuse for a lot of games I've dropped. I picked them at the wrong time and didn't have the time to commit to them to keep going. And by the time that time came around, there was a new shiny thing, and well, ADHD guides my brain on a relatively frequent basis. But absolutely, absolutely, Final Fantasy VII Remake is very much up there on my list. Okay, that room took far less time than I expected it to. I'm honestly surprised and kind of proud. Alright, so now we have conveyor belt mechanics. Let's just take a peek at what we have to do here. So, I presume I'll dash onto that, get launched up and grab that, and then I need to fall back down to grab that sigil. Now, how do I get... So it looks like the other side of the conveyor belt is frozen, so I won't be able to grab onto it and I'll just slide down. I wonder if I could do the wall jump off of that. I'm gonna try that. And then I'll presumably have to repeat it a second time here, so get launched up, grab the jump juice, fall down to grab the jump gem, and then wall bounce off of it to get down here. Fall down to get the... Oh, I'm gonna have to do basically two wall bounces in a row. That seems kind of gross. Maybe even 3. Well, let's give it a try. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I might hold out until all 3 of the remakes are out, or at least the 3rd one we know when to expect. I think they said either 2028 is when the 3rd and final of the trilogy remakes is coming out. So that's a fair bit of distance away. Maybe I won't wait that long. Persona 5 is another game I'd very much like to play on this channel at some point, because I have not played Persona 5. I watched a Let's Play of it for a little bit. I got up until, I think, the 2nd or 3rd dungeon, and then I decided, well, look at that. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, once again, I love how this game just takes its core mechanics and pushes them to their absolute limits. It's insane, and it's so satisfying to pull off once you manage to do it. Persona 5 Royal has been announced, and I'd much rather just play the game. I've played a little bit of other Persona games. I've played Persona 4, and that's another one that I might be interested in playing on this channel. Persona 3 I have really no connection with outside of Persona Q, which was a DS title where that kind of had a crossover between the cast of Persona 4 and 3. But that connection with the characters is way superficial compared to actually playing their original game, you know? But I do think Persona 4, but definitely Persona 5 is a game I'd be very much interested in playing on this channel at some point. Funny enough, I think a game that is worth at least mentioning for Kiwi is Snakebird. Snakebird is a game that she is Kiwi used to be or still is rather a huge fan of Total Biscuit, may he rest in peace, and also Northern Lion, and she has very fond memory of watching both of these guys just absolutely struggle to solve very obvious basic puzzles, because neither of them are terribly good at logic or puzzle type games. And I am also inherently terrible at certain types of puzzle games. There are puzzles that click with me very quickly, and there are puzzles that are just embarrassingly terrible for me. And there we go. Okay, that was a really cool room. Wait, what am I supposed to do here? Okay, I see there's a Kevin down there. Oh, wait, I bet I know what it is. I see it, yep. There's a secret over here. There's a secret room over there. If only I could get to it, would be cool. Alright, let's see. Timing's a little tight there, isn't it? Almost had it that time. There we go. Haha! And now we're gonna do some Kevin platforming, clearly, so... The first question I have to ask is, will Kevin crash through these, or... Okay, so he just keeps going, he doesn't stop. Although he stops at that next spot. But that's because there's a sigil blocking the way. Okay. So, Kevin breaks these blocks and carries us into this room. I have to grab the double jump and get the sigil up there somehow. Oh, you know what? I probably just bonk Kevin upwards. Yeah, and then I just stay crouched so that he doesn't push me into those spikes. Fair enough. Okay, that makes sense. Then he gets down and we bonk him to the right again, and I grab the feather. I wonder if I need to conserve the double jump, though. It doesn't seem like I do, because it looks like I have a dash there, and I think the feather would let me out right between where those two spikes diagonally connect with the block on the bottom. So then it's just a matter of getting Kevin to break those again. So where's Kevin in all of this? He's traveling to the right. I'm traveling with him, probably. And then he breaks through that. I need to grab the double jump. And then I use the double jump up there. Okay, I gotcha. So I need Kevin to come along. So let's see what happens if I do this. Alright, so that gets broken, and then I can bonk him up here, and if I crouch, okay, that works. And then I need to bonk him to the right. Oh, I need him to break those blocks over there, I think. Huh. Alright, let's see what happens if I do that. Right, because he can't pass through there. Okay. I see what you're going for, game. Alright, let's get the double jump one more. I still don't really understand what the purpose of the... Oop, I forgot to crouch. I still don't fully understand what the purpose of the double jump is, but let's assume that I need it for some reason or another. That may become more apparent later. And then if I break him there... Oh, I need it... Okay, I see. No, I don't. I still don't see its point, but whatever. I think we've got the gist of it now, so have him grab the sigil up here. And then... Oops, well, try it one more time. Need to be a little bit quicker on that. Bonk him there, grab this, and fly out after him. Oh, I see. I need to bonk him after I come out of the out of the feather. I see. Ooh, okay. This is a tricky room. But I think we'll get it piece by piece. It's a puzzle, right? All of these have been some form of puzzle or another. And the double jump is so that I can... I guess I wasn't ready for where that feather let out. But the point of the double jump is to allow me to bonk Kevin and then immediately grab this, which I have messed up. So it lets me out there. So I think I need to bonk Kevin from underneath, maybe? Just so he lowers. And there's a platform there that would let me do that. Okay. I think that's the plan. Okay, let's do this. There we go, that's what I had to do. Grab this, jump. Oh, okay, just have to jump a little early. I've got the full plan now. I know how to do this. Not like that. Definitely not like that. Woo, we did it! Okay, this room feels like it took even longer than the room with the wind and the springs. I just was really inconsistent at it for some reason or another that I wish I could explain. I think I'll have an easier time with these stars on a cycle just because I'm traveling horizontally with the feather. They seem to be a bit more consistent with this sort of movement. And they're moving pretty slow, so it looks fairly oh, we're moving fast. We're moving fast. Oh no. Oh, the wind changes direction every couple seconds in this room. Not a fan of that. I think it's based on location rather than timing, so I just have to... So fast. Okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, Kiwi. Oh no, springs. There's the end, Kiwi. I saw it. It's surrounded by moving stars. Oh, gosh. But that was a battle in bubble, so maybe we're almost actually at the end here. One can dream. One can definitely dream. Wow, this chapter's been going for 6 hours now. That blows my mind. Go. Yeah, we did it. Oh, we did it, Kiwi. Is this the end? Oh, music's cutting out. No. Oh, no, it's not the end. It's definitely not the end. Ugh, what's next? I didn't ask for your help. I know, but come on, Madeline. Think this through. What's your endgame here? All that matters is finding Granny. Then maybe I can bring her home. Even if the whole universe is against me. Aren't you worried about getting lost up here? I'll figure it out. Look, Madeline. We're in space chasing a mysterious bird. None of this is real. You're dreaming. She's gone. It's time to wake up now. But if we wake up, we'll never see Granny again. I can't believe you want her to disappear forever. You're always so selfish. First of all, it's a bird. We don't even know that it's her. And second of all, we need to take a step back here. No, you need to take a step back. I'm doing this, with or without you. I'm done letting you hold me back. Granny needs me. Okay. Good luck. Oh, Madeline. Alright. Well. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Kiwi. Kiwi, no. Okay, Kiwi, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off there. You know how I do with rhythm-based platforming, probably for the best that I take a little bit of a break. That said, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. Sorry if the audio balancing in this one's a little bit off. There was some recording done in post, some done in real time, and I know it's a bit tricky to get everything to balance appropriately, so hopefully it will improve in the next episode. Sorry again, but with all that said, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one, where I have to bang my head against rhythm-based platforming, my favorite. Yay.